A music video recorded by an Appalachia High School student honoring the teacher he lost in the school shooting goes viral.
I want the world to know who Miss Ermy is and to know about this story. You know, not just something you could read, but something you could hear in a song.
Yet another Georgia football player arrested for driving well over the speed limit. And finally, Grady Newsource is live from the Oconee County Board of Education, where the meeting about school resource officers is minutes away.
This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College of the University of Georgia, this is Grady Newsource.
Good evening and welcome to Grady Newsource. I'm Colin Miller. After the shooting at Appalachia High School, one student's song made to cope with his grief went viral on TikTok. Grady Newsource reporter Nigel Whittington talked with the student about his experiences with the teacher that meant so much to him.
After silence, that which comes nearest to expressing the inexpressible is music. This is a quote from English writer Aldous Huxley, and after the September 4th shooting at Appalachia High School, silence has become commonplace. For Isaac Sanguma, music has become a way to express the inexpressible. The shooting claimed the lives of 2 students and 2 teachers, one of them being Sanguma's algebra teacher, Christina Ermy.
She was motivational, and she would help me out. After class, she would pull me aside, just give me motivation and stuff like that. Oh, you could do it, you could do it, you could do it.
The 16-year-old used music to channel his grief and emotions as a way to honor the 4 lives lost, with his song named after his teacher, titled Forever Ermy.
It's like a venting for him. It's not really easy to open up, so I just, go and make music. And I keep it to myself. Usually I don't release music that I'm talking about my feelings, but I just felt like this one, everybody had to hear it.
Sanguma posted his song to TikTok, where it currently has almost 14 million views, attracting many supporters, including Russell Horning, a social media influencer, who, like many others, first saw the song online.
So I was scrolling on TikTok and I saw that Lizone made a song as a tribute for all who passed away. And I saw that the school was only 50 minutes away from me, and then I went on his Instagram and I saw that he was shooting a music video at 3 o'clock Friday. I'm like, I'm there. There's nothing else I'd rather do.
Even before the shooting, Horning participated in mental health assemblies at schools across Georgia to prevent events like the shooting on September 4th.
We're going to continue to do more of these because, as I said, I feel like this is a good way of spending my time and energy and using the platform that I have to actually try to make a difference.
While the exposure is nice, Sanguma says that the most important thing is honoring the memory of all lost, including his teacher and friend.
I want the world to know who Miss Ermy is and to know about this story. Not just something you could read, but something you could hear in a song.
Christina Ermy had left a lasting impact on Sanguma, and through his music, her impact can extend beyond Appalachia High School. Nigel Whittington, Grady Newsource.
A nonprofit that normally provides backpacks for children experiencing a crisis at home has shifted their focus to the students at Appalachia High School. Grady Newsource reporter Faith James tells us why.
In Winder, Georgia, to help pack bags for students at Appalachia High School.
We've gotten so many donations, and there's lots of behind-the-scenes stories that I don't even know those stories yet, but I know they're there, and they're going to share them with us.
The community has come together to help prepare bags for students because of Misty Manus.
A tragedy or a crisis such as this hits home, you've got to find ways to help, and it was simple. It was you do what you do.
The adventure bag for the students will include a drawstring bag, a stuffed animal, a blanket, a journal, an activity book, a coloring book, a flashlight, and fidget and stress items to help students soothe their anxiety. Volunteers and donors are working together to gather, pack, and distribute the backpacks throughout the week in preparation for Monday.
It hits home because we're not naive. We don't think that it will never happen. We all know that it could happen, but we just don't think it will.
While the shooting that took place at the school was an absolute tragedy, the people of Barrow County are working hard to show just how strong their community is. Students will return to AHS on Monday, and Adventures Bags will distribute bags to the school. Faith James,
It's been 12 days since the Appalachia High School shooting, which claimed 4 lives. The shooting has caused concern across the nation regarding school safety. Sarah Sims looks at how Oconee County works to address these concerns.
Schools are taking measures with school safety by adding their first school resource officers.
Well, in light of recent events, we felt like it was time to reevaluate our security protocols, and the sheriff recommended that we do that as a temporary measure, moving that towards more of a permanent measure.
Just last Monday, Oconee County Board of Education voted to place 2 school resource officers at Oconee County High School and North Oconee County High School. The Oconee County Sheriff Department reassigned deputies to the schools until the schools can hire full-time to ensure safety.
To be considered an SRO, you have to go through specific training that deals just with being a resource officer. So it's not just a typical law enforcement officer.
Some Oconee County residents have expressed an interest in more resource officers in the school and curious to see what else the school has planned to ensure the safety of those students. That's right. I am standing here today with Miss Michaelyn Rosar, a parent in Oconee County, where she's going to talk about her safeties and concerns regarding school safety. So, Miss Rosar, what are your hopes on tonight's meetings going to be?
I really appreciate the approach that the school system has taken so far. It's been very measured. It's been very thoughtful. They've added they're voting tonight to add the SRO officers to the high schools. I think that's an excellent move. I have no problem with that. I just hope that we continue to make measured and thoughtful improvements. I don't think we need to do anything urgent. I don't think we need to do anything I don't think we need to do anything in a hurry or in a panic. I think we need to make measured and thoughtful decisions.
And so what are those measured and thoughtful decisions that you would like to see?
I would like to see increased support and mental health for our students who are struggling, our students who are falling through the cracks. To me, that's really the issue that needs to be addressed first. I think Oconee County does a good job with that. I would like to see every student in Oconee feel safe and secure and welcome at school, and I think that is the higher priority.
And you also mentioned school resource officers. They've already implemented 2 into the schools, high schools. How does that make you feel as a parent going forward and having more school resource officers be a possibility in these school systems?
I'm grateful for the addition of Sergeant Dorsey to Oconee County High School. He's a great man. He is somebody the students love and the students respect. He's already been in the school system quite a bit, so they're already familiar with him. As far as SROs in the other schools, I think that there is a place for increased presence of officers. I don't know that every school needs officers all day long. I think that's something that needs to be thought about carefully.
And how do you think this board meeting will go tonight, in your opinion?
I hope that the citizens of Oconee County are civil and kind to one another. I hope that everybody's opinion is heard and it's not just the opinion of a small crowd.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. The board meeting will take place tonight at 6 p.m. right here at the Oconee County Board of Education. Thanks so much. Back to you, Colin.
Thanks, Sarah. Georgia State School Superintendent Richard Woods announced in a press release that he plans to advocate for additional state funding for school safety in the upcoming legislative session. Woods said his goal is to have a student resource officer and crisis alert system in every Georgia school. Currently, Georgia's spending plan has about $109 million set aside for school safety. Woods also plans to propose a new state program that promotes stronger mental health counseling in schools. The impact of the shooting at Appalachia High School has been felt across the nation. UGA's Mary Frances Early College of Education felt the effects through their student teachers, who were stationed at schools all across Barrow County, including Appalachia. Grady Newsource reporter Elizabeth Hunter has more on how the college is helping these students through the aftermath of this event.
One step at a time. That's what UGA student teachers have been struggling with since September 4th.
Any chance we get, we just change the topic.
Maisie Jackson is a student teacher for Oconee County. She had friends who were student teachers at Appalachia and the surrounding schools when the shooting happened.
I recognized the name because I had 2 friends in my classes who were there. So then I texted our class group chat, and I didn't get an answer for an hour.
4 student teachers were at Appalachia High School that day. Despite this happening before their careers even started, Jackson says this has not discouraged her or her classmates from wanting to be teachers. It just adds extra pressure.
Still want to be a teacher, but there's still other stuff to think about. When it happened, my 4th graders were at lunch. And then so we had an entire conversation on what we do when our kids are across the entire building.
Denise Spangler is the Dean for the College of Education. She says they are exploring every method to support their students.
We had individuals on site with us all day Wednesday as this unfolded, and as people came back from schools and as faculty and staff were hearing from students.
The college is still offering group and individual support through UGA Health Center's Care and Outreach program. Dean Spangler says the best thing anyone can do is reach out.
We appreciate everybody's thoughts and kindness, and I think just reaching out to individuals to let them know you care and you're thinking about them is probably the best thing.
Jackson says she has felt completely supported by the college during this time.
I got emails from every professor, then Mary Frances emailed us, and then coming to class, every professor talked about it and then offered up the same support.
The College of Education did not let the student teachers return last week when Barrow County schools reopened. Dean Spangler says they are assessing the situation day by day. In Athens, Elizabeth Hunter, Grady Newsource.
Thanks, Elizabeth. If you watched the game this weekend, you may have noticed a certain player missing from Georgia's defense. Grady Newsource reporter Jackson Rowland is with us live to tell us why.
UGA cornerback Daniel Harris was missing from the field. Harris was arrested last Thursday night and charged with 5 different misdemeanor traffic violations. Athens-Clarke County Police say that Harris was traveling at a speed of 106 miles per hour while driving on the entrance ramp coming off from College Station Road onto Outer Loop 10 Highway in Athens, Georgia. The list of charges for Harris include reckless driving, no seatbelt, no registration, no insurance, and the use of illegal window tint on a 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Athens-Clarke County Police Department said in general they do not comment on the driving habits of UGA athletes. Now, despite this news, Harris still traveled with the team to play in this Saturday's game at Kentucky, although he did not see the field. In the post-game interviews, Coach Smart said that it was his decision to not play Harris, although he was still available. This now makes the second time that a UGA football player has missed a game this season due to off-the-field issues. Looking back at the season opener, running back Trevor Etienne had to miss that game serving a single-game suspension due to a driving-related incident last spring. Now looking forward, UGA is on a bye week this week, which helps the Dogs out after a rough performance in Lexington as they will take the field next Saturday to play Alabama and for the first time not facing Coach Nick Saban. Now, Coach Smart has not yet said if Harris will return for that game, but Colin will keep you posted on Harris's return. Now, as all eyes remain on the Dogs both on and off the field. Colin?
Thank you, Jackson. After the break, Grady Newsource reporter Ethan Wright will provide us with updates on the alleged assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump.
Crowd, and I never graduated.
I helped Santiago in many different ways, like all fathers do, because he always wanted to go to college.
I felt a little embarrassed to come back to school, but eventually, once I came here, I knew that it's for a bigger goal.
He was very dedicated, hardworking. He connected with his teachers. He connected with other students. That was one of the key reasons why he was able to keep forging ahead.
It was amazing to see him graduate. This was one thing that meant so much to him, and of course, it meant so much to us too.
With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed. That support is everything.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I think I finally found.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Got a new house. It's looking pretty cool so far. A place that I call home.
I'm teaching Louise how to cook some lasagna.
You don't need to use a spark to make a fire start.
Thank you.
Study, please.
I think I finally found a place to make my own. A place that I call home.
Welcome back to Grady Newsource. Welcome back to Grady Newsource. Former President Donald Trump was the target of what investigators are calling an apparent assassination attempt, making this the second attempt on the former president's life in just over 2 months. Grady Newsource reporter Ethan Wright joins us live in the newsroom with the latest updates on the story. Ethan?
Yeah, that's right, Colin. The Palm Beach County Sheriff's Department says this incident took place at Trump's West Palm Beach golf course on Sunday around 1:30. Here's what we know so far. The suspect, Ryan Wesley Ruth, was spotted roughly 300 to 500 yards away from Trump's golf course, where authorities say he had been camping out for nearly 12 hours before. Ruth was spotted by a Secret Service agent who noted what appeared to be a rifle poking out of the tree line, and that agent fired a shot in the suspect's direction, causing him to flee. Ruth left behind an AK-47 style rifle equipped with a scope, which the sheriff said put him within shooting range. And Georgia's Governor Brian Kemp sent his regards on via social media platform X, saying he is glad to hear that former President Trump is safe and unharmed, and that he is grateful for the law enforcement officers working to keep him and his family safe. This morning, suspect Ryan Ruth appeared in federal court in Florida, where he was charged with 2 federal gun crimes. I spoke with retired Cobb County Police Lieutenant David Ellis about what local police can do to tighten safety during election season.
Part of the incident command when President Trump was here previously as president at a Republican rally, and the amount of people we committed to that, just the police department, was probably in the 120 to 150. You add to that some sheriff's department, state patrol, GBI, Secret Service. You know, you could have upwards to 200 law enforcement people at that crowd. That doesn't even include undercover people. And there will be undercover people in that crowd.
And as more updates come, you can stay tuned with us here and on our social media accounts to continue getting the latest updates on this story.
Thank you for that update, Ethan.
Thank you, Colin.
This year's vice presidential nominees, Republican J.D. Vance and Democrat Tim Walz, will be in Georgia this week. Georgia was a crucial swing state in the 2020 presidential election. Now, with this year's election less than 50 days away, these candidates are making their final efforts on their campaign trails to convince undecided voters. Senator J.D. Vance will headline the Georgia Faith and Freedom Coalition's victory dinner at the Cobb Galleria Center tonight. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp and former Democrat Representative Tulsi Gabbard will be attending this event as well. Meanwhile, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz will speak at political events tomorrow in Macon and then fly to Atlanta for more events later that day. Madison County Democrats is hosting an event to get out of the rural Northeast Georgia vote ahead of the election in November, where Senator Jon Ossoff will be in attendance. Grady Newsource reporter Lizzie Rice gives us more on the event and the strategy behind how parties are targeting Georgia in this election.
Here in the battleground state of Georgia, every vote counts ahead of the November election. Madison County Democrats recognize this and have organized the event Democrats for Democracy, focused on getting out the rural Northeast Georgia vote. Georgia U.S. Senator Jon Ossoff will be in attendance as the keynote speaker. Christian Dent, president of UGA Young Dems and one of the key organizers for the rally, speaks to their outreach method.
It's important that we shave down those margins to win statewide, because you may not win Madison County, but those votes are still important. Georgia was decided by 11,779 votes, or whatever it was. We know that number, right? Every vote matters, even in a deep red county I've got.
Although Georgia went blue by slim margins in the previous 2020 presidential election, there are still many counties that have stayed red. Madison is a Republican stronghold county in Georgia, with 75% of its population voting for Trump in 2020. The data raises questions as to why Democrats are prioritizing such a dense Republican district this close to Election Day. UGA professor of Southern politics Dr. Charles Bullock shares about how this race will be decided by cutting down on margins and what that looks like here in Georgia.
That even as they lose 129, maybe 130 counties, that they can hold on. Biden was able to do this, held on by fewer than 12,000 votes. But if they could pick up a few hundred votes in this county, maybe 1,000 votes in some other county, then it makes them less dependent upon having to do exceptionally well.
The event will be held this Saturday, September 21st at Yarborough Memorial Park in Comer, Georgia, and is free admission to all. Follow along for more next week with Lizzie Rice on Grady Newsource.
Coming up after the break, Grady Newsource reporter Tori Newman brings us the 5-day forecast.
you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
You're home before sunrise. On top of the house, the kids, and our future. The smell of your cooking is our alarm clock. My Shiro's day is never done. So let's start saving a little more now so we can feel prepared for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give us the personalized tips we need so we can live our lives to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Thanks, Colin. With Tropical Storm Francine out of the way, we finally have some sun incoming after a wet weekend. Today we had a mostly sunny day here in Athens with a high of 82 and a low of 63 tonight with cloudy skies. Throughout the week we'll continue to see some sun with cooler temperatures as it gets later in the day. The lows Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday all sit in the 60s. On Wednesday, don't be fooled by the early sunny weather. Rain could possibly roll in once again with a 20% chance of showers between 2 to 5 p.m. and a small chance of thunderstorms after 5. But back to Tuesday. If you're thinking of attending tomorrow's outdoor sunflower concert series at the State Botanical Garden, consider bringing a light jacket or blanket. The sun will set 30 minutes into the event, making way for a cool evening with partly cloudy skies and good tunes all night long. The Randall Bramblett Band will perform at 7 p.m. in the Flower Garden, concluding the Garden's 2024 series. Proceeds from the event will fund the Garden's educational and conservation programs, which support its outreach in the Athens community. Coming up, Grady Newsource reporter Sydney Rainwater gives us a rundown on last week's Georgia-Kentucky game and tells us about a new sport that anyone can try.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
You know, a lot of people say, when you're going somewhere, you don't want to look back. But I beg to differ. For her to see her father celebrate his graduation, it's the best feeling in the world. I can't lie and say it was easy. But sometimes you just have to stop everything and take it in. I looked at everything in a different light. I realized it started with me going back and getting my high school diploma.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river.
Hello everyone, my name is Sydney Rainwater, covering sports for you tonight. A lot went down this weekend in sports, so let's go ahead and get started. First, the Georgia-Kentucky football game. The Dogs were behind the entire game until halfway through the fourth quarter. All the points in the game on either side were field goals until that 3-yard rushing touchdown by UGA's Branson Robinson to secure the win. Georgia's stumble-through performance affected the college football rankings this week. The Texas Longhorns took the #1 spot after they demolished the UTSA Roadrunners Saturday. The Longhorns have also beaten last season's national champions, Michigan, already this season. It's bye week, so no Georgia football this Saturday, but not to worry, the Atlanta Falcons play tonight at 8:15 against the Philadelphia Eagles. Who says you can only watch sports, though? Lifetime sports like disc golf, cycling, swimming, and especially pickleball are booming lately. Athens currently has about 10 pickleball locations open to the public, and Pickleball Kingdom, a nationwide indoor pickleball company, just announced they're opening a Watkinsville, Georgia location next summer. The Sports and Fitness Industry Association says the sudden growth is because the game is so easy to learn and can be enjoyed by all ages. Find a court and try it out for yourself. Speaking of Watkinsville, city residents gathered yesterday to celebrate Constitution Day. More of that after the break.
During high school, I hung with the wrong crowd and I never graduated.
I helped Santiago in many different ways, like all fathers do, because he always wanted to go to college.
I felt a little embarrassed to come back to school, but eventually, once I came here, I knew that it's for a bigger goal.
He was very dedicated, hardworking. He connected with his teachers. He connected with other students. That was one of the key reasons why he was able to keep forging ahead.
It was amazing to see him graduate. This was one thing that meant so much to him, and of course, it meant so much to us too.
With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed. That support is everything.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I think I finally found.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Got a new house. It's looking pretty cool so far.
A place that I call home.
I'm teaching Louise how to cook some lasagna. Thank you.
Study, please.
I think I finally found a place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
Welcome back to Grady Newsource. In honor of Constitution Day tomorrow, communities across the nation are finding unique ways to celebrate. In Oconee County, locals gathered for a special history program to reflect on the legacy of our nation's founding document. Grady Newsource reporter Juliana Russ has more.
A musket firing, colonial costumes, and history lessons are only the beginning of Constitution Day celebrations in Oconee County.
We got to watch musket fires. We had many people help and speak in the Constitution, and it was very much a joy.
Sunday afternoon, the Reverend John Andrew chapter of Daughters of the American Revolution kicked the week off with a Constitution Day history program at Ashford Memorial Church.
One of the pillars of the DAR, of course, is education, as well as patriotism and historic preservation, so all of that falls in maintaining the Constitution fresh in everyone's mind.
Student members of the Watkinsville Junior American Citizens presented lessons about the Constitutional Convention, the preamble, the 7 articles, and the amendments.
I think it's very important to remember history, to appreciate the freedom we have in the 21st century that was given to us because of people who lived many centuries prior.
Tuesday, the celebrations are scheduled to continue in front of the Watkinsville City Courthouse at 3:45 p.m.
We're going to have a town crier read the proclamation, the Constitution Proclamation, for the day, and then we are going to have bell ringing at 4 p.m. and another musket salute like we did today.
Oconee County's celebration is one of many that will be happening across the country this week, encouraging citizens to honor the past while staying engaged in the present. Juliana Russ, Grady Newsource.
What a great story. It's great to see what the local community is doing to celebrate. Tomorrow from 3:45 to 4:15, there will be an event marking the signing of the Constitution with bell ringing and musket fire in front of the courthouse in downtown Watkinsville. And that's all we have for today's show. Thank you for joining us on Grady Newsource. I'm Colin Miller, and have a great night.
Their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Woohoo! Gnarly move, Dad. Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
My Shiro doesn't always wear a cape, but she always has time for a hug, a smile, for going the extra mile. My Shiro stretches every dollar, puts in long hours, puts others first. But now it's your time, Mom. When you're ready to retire, we want you to be able to enjoy it. It's time to start saving now. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Hi there. Well, this so far was our smoothest show. All the lives we did, the most lives that we've done so far, they all went very well. We were prepared, though. We had float pages to go, but we're just making more and more progress every time. And I'm really proud of you guys. Some great packages, interesting content. Nigel, that was very well done. Just one thing, when you have a piece about music, let's hear the music. That's the only thing, but you did just a wonderful job. Your writing, the story itself, it was written in a very moving way, and all the close-ups and things that it was very, very well done. I can tell you put your heart into it. The only thing is, let's hear the music. Yeah, I really wanted to hear his music. Yes. Yep. And you did a great job with keeping it to that. But we also needed to hear the song that went viral. Yeah, but those close-ups, everything was just very moving and very well done. Very well, thank you. That was a very nice way to start our show. Riley, good call. She wanted to start, and I was just saying, is it the right tone? I knew it was about music. I wanted to, once I copy edited your package, I knew she was right. That was the way to start. It was very powerful, really proud of you, really appreciate it, really made our show. Just when it's about music. I love the teamwork. Yeah, I just, all of you did great. You're doing better with every something's happening to my phone. It's like going haywire. Faith, nice opening shot, and my phone is just not cooperating. Love the dynamic shots, with the pencils. Actually, when everybody was doing something in those adventure bags. I love how say something, show something. We could see specifically all the items that they were including in the bag. You showed those. Yeah, I love the piece. Sarah's live shot, I told her she did a great job. She was very excited about it. She knows fewer buildings, more things with people. I told her to go. She's at the meeting, and she's going to get us some interesting stuff. Then, oh my goodness, what's happening with that? Elizabeth, great opening, one step at a time. Where are you hiding? Yes, great opening shot with say something, show something, one step at a time. We see those steps. But then you repeated the shot. Avoid repeating unless you were writing to it and it was really important. Sometimes it's good to come back at the end of a story to the same shot, but just if you had other shots or there was no reason to go back to that same step by step, just something to consider. And I might be wrong, I have to watch it again because everything there's so much going on, so I'm just, I'll be watching everything again, and if I think of something, I'll let you guys know. And I might be wrong. When I watch it, it might make sense to me. So I'm just saying it with a little caveat. Jackson, I liked very good ad-libbing. We couldn't tell you didn't have a prompter. I wouldn't have that document behind you all the time. Maybe it was your cheat sheet, so you could get the charges and everything. There was just too much. People could not read. Yeah, so maybe graphics and just change a few graphics. That would have helped things move a little bit because we stayed on that humongous document for so long. But really impressive. I totally agree. That was really impressive how smoothly you ad-libbed everything. And because here you don't have a teleprompter. You just have to, yeah. So that's what I had for you. Oh, I see what's going on. You know when you press that microphone and it starts, so it's actually recording me, and that's why, what's going on? I figured out what I had done. Ooh, everything I've said so far is here. Ethan, that was very well done. It came together, interesting, expert. However, we didn't do you justice because we had you stay, and the chair was like a baby chair. Yeah, it's like I once had a reporter who didn't have a chair, and so they're putting him. They say, "You're on in 20 seconds," and he's looking, and he can't sit next to me because there's no chair. You know what he did? He squatted the entire time. He squatted. He did his live shot with me. Yes, Q&A. I don't know how, but he was a biker, so he could imagine. He pulled it off, but anybody else? So it's been worse. Somebody squatting, yeah. And so I apologize for that. I also apologize that they didn't practice with you to put you in a, single shot and then not have you stand there. And you were really, you got into it and you were like trying to show that you were paying attention and you kept, being engaged with it, but there was just a whole reader and a lead in which you have nothing to do. But you were, you were a good sport. You showed that, you didn't show the frustration. That was most impressive, because when you're on air, do not show frustration. It's not about you, it's about the viewers, and you were very professional. You didn't just say, oh my God, what are they doing? You didn't have that expression, on your face. You were engaged and you looked like you were listening, and that's the way to handle such an awkward situation. So I apologize for that. What we're going to do next is to have you and the anchor early on, and they would practice changing the camera so that that doesn't happen again. One thing I would suggest, you needed a few bullet points, like all the three main developments in the investigation. That could have been a separate graphic for each one of them, because there was too much reading with you on camera without any visuals. So that's what I would have suggested. The governor, I saw you decided to keep his X, but we didn't see a graphic with the quote. So again, there was a lot of reading. That's for your next one. I would suggest you try to visualize as much as possible. But that's my only thing, and I do apologize that we kept you. But you were a pro. You stayed engaged. You did the right thing and didn't show frustration, which you should have. Even with the baby chair, it's like, yeah. So I can't believe that. I don't know if we can boost that. I looked at the broadcast and I was like, he is like significantly children. Yeah. And, yeah. But this happens in professional live TV. As I say, they tell you to sit next to the anchor and there's no chair. So that could happen to you. Now you know what to do. You just, squat and you'll be fine. And so anyway, we can't win them all, but it was a smooth show. I'm so proud that a lot of you challenged yourselves to do lives in different ways. And that adds a lot of energy. Even if it doesn't go quite right, it still looks better than everything being prepackaged. And so we will work on those. That was our first in-studio live, and it happened to be you, and so it wasn't done correctly. So you will forgive the whole team for that. But you handled it the best, way that could possibly have been handled. Lizzie liked your piece, but it was late, and it stressed everybody out. 4:30 is out time. And also, have a tripod. I saw some shaky video, which was a little distracting. That would be my recommendation. And I liked how you pulled off, your other side of the story was very iffy, and you pulled it off and you were able to give us something very meaningful and balanced. But these are the only things that I would say, the shaky video and trying not to have a Zoom interview also. But I'm glad you got Bullock. He's one of the most respected experts we have on politics, and he's nice to students. He's a great guy. Yeah, Tori, very confident delivery. I know you were, where are you? Who am I? Yeah, very confident. Really liked the smile, like how you made your transition to the weather. So now you understand the weather, and I want you guys to share what you learned today. A lot of you were nervous for different reasons, and I will try to speak less. Sydney, also very personable. You were just great. The camera loves you. Nice graphics, very nice graphics, creative. Both of you, very, very good delivery. Both of you had very pleasant delivery. Our anchor also, very well. I loved at the end the way you closed the show and you reacted also to the Constitution piece, which was very well done, very interesting. all these people dressed up, and really, really nice, nice idea to end the show. It was just perfect to end the show on your piece. Yeah, and so that's all I have. I'm really, really proud of you, and I know it was a tough day, but we're making progress every single day. Things are looking better, even if we are having a few things we still need to figure out, like the studio and how we have people sit and have a camera on them. Want to hear real quick about how we did digitally today. If you guys want to grab a mic. Thank you, darling.
Great show, everybody. I first of all just wanted to thank you all for participating and sending in everything that I asked you guys about. Juliana, great photos. Thank you so much for sending those in. It made a really nice piece on Instagram. Nigel, thank you so much for tracking that package. I just wrote that little thing up. But yeah, we uploaded some really cool content today to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Oh, Colin, fantastic job on the Grady Daily. That was really nicely put together. So yeah, I think just my biggest takeaway that I want to share with you all is send everything you can to Dr. Bright. Make sure it's all approved by her. Make sure it's all ready to go before you hit post. It's really not that hard of a job, so if any of you are scared about it, don't be. It was actually pretty fun. It was kind of enjoyable getting to see everyone else's pieces and kind of make it your own in a way. So yeah, if you have any questions when you're producing or digital producing, just let me know. Yeah, good job.
Yeah, just echoing that. We just kind of jumped the gun on one post. Nothing factual or anything, but we just jumped the gun a little bit posting it, and Dr. Bright had some changes she had wanted to make, but that's okay. And yeah, just catering the content, what you have to the specific platform, and kind of finding the strength in the packages, and then you're oh, that make for a cute little video clip. Let's do this, crop it like that, and then put it there. So just getting to know people's content and knowing what would look best and how it would look best. But yeah, you guys had some really good content, so we were very pleased with that.
Thank you for giving us that soundbite. It made our show open so much better. Riley, your first baptism by fire. You did a great job. I like the show flow and everything.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to give credit to Savannah because no, because obviously I knew I was producing today. So on Wednesday, when you were giving her advice, I was like, what is she saying? I need to remember this. I was freaking out last night just because it's if you've never done this before, it's really intimidating. I'm not going to lie. It's terrifying. But I went through everyone's pitches, or the night before, and kind of just saw which stories I thought would group together. I noticed that we had trends with Appalachie stories, election stories, so I knew that I could divide them, in some sort of way. But yeah, my biggest take of advice would be prepare beforehand as soon as you can. Right when I was on the bit sheet, stalking on, I was okay, I see what they're doing. But yeah, it's not as scary as it seems. I promise. If I can do it, anyone can, and I mean that. But yeah, I had fun today with a lot of stress, and it flew by, but
you prepared, and you looked at that bit sheet, and you came with a strategy. You came with a vision for your show, and so I think that worked for you because it is scary, yeah. But you did very well. I mean, this is your first show.
Thank you.
So you had a very good show flow, and I don't know if you're interested in producing, but
okay,
with some more.
Today, I don't mind it, but we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see where life
takes the most stressful thing is actually timing it during the live.
Yeah, that was stressful. Yeah, get the timing right. It's very important.
And
because in the real world,
pieces,
it's going to owe the company a lot of money. So. Well, I thought so, Mel.
It had to end at 5:28 because the break is 2 minutes. We have a break from 5:28 to 5:30. but we didn't want
has to
to
be done
cut
at
your piece, so we
No,
let
but-
it go.
Or like
It's the live shot. What it is was you didn't control the live shot. The live shot went, you assumed that she knew that she was, but when you're out there, you've done a live shot. You're not keeping score of time. What you're doing is you're speaking and you're hoping you'll get some direction. So that was the only thing next time you produce to control the live shots, because that's the most unpredictable part of your show. The live shots, you know, they just, people forget and they just keep going unless you tell them, wrap, last question.
And she rapped the second I told her. But
Exactly.
30 minutes up. Or 30
Yeah, but
seconds
just
up.
follow the time. Just like, okay, we're supposed to do 1 minute. She's close to 1 minute. I'm going to tell her last question. But that was the only thing. And for you being a newbie producer, that's, you know, that's to be expected.
Well, those packages are amazing, and I
Yeah.
appreciate anyone that helped me today. And yeah, once again, we are getting better, guys.
Absolutely. We've got some more time. Colin, would you like to say something? That was his first time. That was his debut with borrowed clothes like me. He did it. I told you they bring good luck.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, shout out to Christian for the jackets. I only had a blue jacket. But yeah, no, I mean, credit to Riley. She was great. I mean, we had a good line of communication with each other about like what our plans were for the show, which I think helped out a ton. Also, like, shout out to everyone for sending in leads like pretty far in advance, so I was able to read everything over and like make sure like I could read it off comfortably. Like one thing, definitely when you're either like coming back from a break or passing it off to a live, keep like looking at the prompter, because I noticed when I passed it off to Jackson, I looked down to see it go to him, and I was still on camera, so I could see myself looking downwards, which was not great. So definitely just keep looking until you know the camera's not on you anymore. But yeah, no, I think like Christian also had said like he felt a little tense at first and then he got more comfortable. I definitely like by the end I was like I could just keep doing this because it was like kind of fun, just, you know.
Yeah, I could tell you loosened up.
Yeah.
Initially you were like locked, you know, for dear life in that prompter.
I was a little nervous.
Yeah, I could even see your eyes going. I'm exaggerating, of course. And then you relaxed it at the end. You know, you were having fun. You were enjoying this little experience with the viewers. You connected with them.
Yeah.
And that's the feeling I guess you felt. So
Yeah.
do more of that. It's a feeling. You know when you've nailed it and when you've hit, you know, your flow, so to speak.
Yeah.
And keep doing that. Remember that feeling, how you felt that in that situation, and that has always helped me to get it right, to be more natural. So whatever that felt to you, do more of that.
Thank you.
Yeah, because you've got it. You've got it. It just kind of, it'll take you some time. I mean, it took me, I wanted to run away during my first live anchoring. But the more you do it and take more opportunities to do live, and you'll really start enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Ethan for sitting there while I spoke for like
He was such
3
a-
minutes. Because I was
Yeah.
like, I was thinking when the SOT was up, I was like, how are we gonna like go back to normal? And then
Yeah.
we were just both sitting there.
I know, I felt so bad, yeah. But there was nothing we could do. We were stuck, yeah.
Cool.
And yeah. Ethan, do you want to share something from that experience? Do you have a mic? Okay.
All right. I'm going to say what I got to say standing up so the people at home know I'm still growing, first of all. I don't know. Today I woke up and had nothing, essentially, and I came in and had to put something together. And surprisingly, it was easier to get in contact with somebody from Cobb County than it was Oconee, just for if they're watching. But I don't know. For those who haven't been at the desk yet, well, when I sat down, Colin was like, it's cool. Because I don't remember what I said, but he was like, it's fine. We're just sitting here reading into the camera. And that's essentially what you're doing. Like, you're just just reading. So the easier that you can sit down and be like, I'm in a chair, I'm just reading and like talking to somebody, whatever. You'll get comfortable. It'll be easier to do. And yeah, that seat doesn't go up. So yeah.
And Ethan, what we could have done also, we could have done more Q&A. Like you could have broken it into 2 different parts, and Colin could have asked you a question, and you do the investigation wrap. Then he could have turned you around and said, so you talked to a security expert. What did he say about how they handled this? And then you introduce your soundbite, and that could have made it more interactive. But we decided everything last minute, didn't have time to really think much about it. But we're going to do better next time. But that's another thing to consider, do Q&A. And it makes it more interesting, and there's more chemistry, and we could have done better with that. Yeah.
I think it went pretty good.
And I apologize, yes.
It was all right. Shout out Tums.
But I guess it was a learning experience for you. You tested yourself and you handled it correctly by trying to stay as engaged as possible and not showing how you really felt in the baby chair. Yeah, so. You guys, I want to hear from you, because you're my pioneers. How did your day? They're the Sojo people. They worked on Sojo today.
So I'll speak to what me and Savannah did. When we split up, we left class, and we left with one car. So we decided to put Christian and Keisha downtown, so they'd have a lot of people constantly coming through. If they wanted to come back to class or needed to for some reason, they were close enough. They didn't need a car to get back. And they would get a younger demographic for the most part. Me and Savannah took off to Alps and interviewed a few people outside like the Whole Fresh grocery store and REI and stuff like that. We got one
good for you guys
amazing interview.
Good for you.
Outside of our one amazing interview, we got a lot of no's just to talk to us, and it was honestly a little disheartening how many people didn't want to talk to us. Even after we said, no, it's not on camera, we won't even record it, we just want to hear your thoughts. And wanted nothing to do with us. Yeah. Like, what's going on that we don't know about because we're students and we don't have the perspective that you have as someone who's lived here. Because that was another thing, for us especially, we were trying to get people who have lived here a little bit longer. And it was really interesting. And we had a few no's that were really nice, and it was like, we don't really apply to that. Like, I'm here for work sometimes, and I don't really live here. Or, I'm sorry, I have to go to a game tonight, and we're leaving to Atlanta right now, and super nice. But a lot of no's that were like, yeah, absolutely not. We don't want to talk to you. Don't want to be on camera. And it was like, wow. It's like we've even offered, we're not interviewing on any camera. It's like mics are off. We're just talking to you.
Yeah, we're not very trusted and liked. But don't take it personally. It's happened to me, it'll happen to you. It's not personal, it's just people are not comfortable, they don't trust the media, they don't know who you are. But I hope you were able to get a sense, at least to the people you were able to interview, and that you did get some people on camera for your package.
We did have that one amazing interview with us, but I'll pass it to the downtown team to talk about their experience.
Okay, so we had, similar issues, but a little different just because the area we were at. I was able to talk to a good bit of people, but not everyone on camera. And one thing I realized, most of the people, I think because it was downtown, and I was purposely trying to somewhat avoid students, like I was trying to get like older people, like 90% of them were not from Athens because like it's downtown. We're around a bunch of hotels. Like most people, I'm from New York, I'm from Miami.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Miami, New York?
Yeah, so that was kind of what we were dealing with there. But the people I was able to get 4 interviews like on camera. And basically overall, we know what we're doing our thing about. Obviously, the school shooting just went down. That's a big deal. A lot of people got gun violence on their minds. That's our number one thing that we're going after. Second after that, because like I said, I talked to a good bit of people, even if they weren't on camera. Second after that was homelessness and affordable housing. Like people had somewhat a good bit to say about that as well. But really, mainly, I think what was on a lot of people's minds was school shooting, gun violence, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's actually that good interview that they got. That was a gun violence interview. I got a couple good interviews about gun violence. So I think that's what we're going to
That
be
will be
sticking
your
with.
issue.
That's
So
going to be our
then
topic.
think of the representative, county representative who
Yeah, so then I
can
reached out
address
because
that.
my beat is like border commission. So I reached out to, once we kind of saw that that's how the gears, that's the direction we were headed. I reached out. We got some things lined up. We're interviewing 2 commissioners tomorrow. There's a commission meeting tomorrow that I was going to go to regardless. So I'm going to interview 2 commissioners there. Possibly get an interview from someone in the crowd there.
Excellent.
There's an activist I'm meeting with
setting.
tomorrow there who created this nonprofit called Mentoring Young Men to it's like to help get rid of gang violence in Athens. And she's this activist we're meeting with before the meeting. And then we're also going to talk to the PIO of Athens Clarke County PD, Lieutenant Thompson. So that's the interviews we got scheduled for now, and then we wanted to maybe go to a gun shop and get that side of the story too. Interview like maybe the owner of the gun shop, see like what are you thinking about, like just try to get.
Yeah, and when you talk to the commissioners, ask them what they're doing about it, and see what they say, and then mention the solution that how does that fit in, how can this help, or get their reaction to the solution.
What are y'all already doing? What do y'all plan to do?
Yeah,
what
and
do you
the
think's
solution, go and visit where they mentor people and do like a mini.
Yeah, we planned on doing that because this lady said they have meetings for the Mentoring Young Men thing, the activist who I'm talking with tomorrow.
Go to the meeting, talk to the.
Yeah, and then that way we could get some good B-roll and stuff too at the meeting.
Yeah, and talk to those who are benefiting from that, those who are taking those.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever courses or whatever however they're being helped.
Yeah.
And also possibly talk to an analyst type, depending on what you get, about what needs to be done and how effective this kind of an approach is. What are the benefits and limitations? Because,
Yeah, we got to get the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, very well done. I mean, that's a lot you did. Do you feel confident that you can write the pitch for Wednesday, so that I can give you a little bit of feedback, and you can sort of write an outline of how you see your story developing, because you have the other dates that have to be ready, the script, but that's in October.
Mm-hmm.
But just to make sure that you have everything you need while you have this free time, and whatever you need to finish up on Wednesday, and you've done, very well done, and
I got some good creative ideas for it, but you'll just have to wait for that on Wednesday, I guess.
I can't wait. Okay,
Yeah.
I think I can make it.
Okay.
Okay, guys, great job. Thank you so much. Great job, all of you. Give yourself a hand.